Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise is brought to you in partnership with Drive Media and Consulting and their premier sponsors. Subscribe on your favorite streaming platforms and share. If you just found us, welcome. And if you're a regular, welcome back. Denise DiGrigoli has spent her life in the creative industries as an entrepreneur, helping people transform their visions into thriving businesses, working with individuals and teams to find their purpose and live their life vibrantly. On her pod, Denise delivers business intel and life hacks with wit and wisdom in short shots like a strong espresso with a solid sense of humor. Enjoy this episode of Mav's Coffee Clarity, and here's Mav.
Welcome, my friends. You know you're on Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise. If you're a regular, hey, welcome back. And if you're new, we're so glad you're here. Every week I spill the beans. We're a show designed to move you forward in work, love, and life. And come on, who doesn't need that? This is where I interview some of the most fascinating mavericks of all time. Everybody's been a maverick, whether it's a minute, a moment, a lifetime. These are creatives, doers, knowns to unknowns, people that are going to spill their business intel and life hacks. Really incredible stories of fiascos, triumphs, and tribulations, all designed with positivity, authenticity to help us move forward. And today's no different, my friend. You know what I'm going to tell you. You can find me wherever you listen to your favorite pods and on YouTube. And for my creative services and my consulting services, I want you to go to denisedegrigoli.com. But do it after the show, my friends, because we have someone so fabulous today. I want to jump right into it, but it might be a long intro. An award-winning stand-up comedian, producer, host, personality, influencer, undercover roaster, keynote, and the comedienne, and I can attest to that myself, my friends. She's worked with some of the most famous to the most unlikely like me, helping everybody move forward. Identified as our joy junkie in Connecticut with global connections, training CEOs worldwide. Because you know why? We win by laughing, my friends. Welcome to the pod, my friend, my mentor, Christine O'Leary. Yay! There she is.
Hello, honey.
Hello. Where in the world is Christine today?
I am in like the home plate of my soul in Wells Beach, Maine, southern Maine.
Wow.
And when I was a little girl, my parents would say to me before going back to school, do you and your brother want to see school clothes or do you want a beach house? And we said a beach house. We cleaned toilets and mowed lawns, and 48 years later, very proud to say, here I am.
I'm telling you, I thought for a moment that might be a virtual background, but it sounds like it's quite real.
Did I show you around?
Give us a quick show for sure.
Like that, a quick pan. Check this out. This is the
Look
Rachel
at this, my
Carson,
friends.
the
Wow.
Rachel Carson preserve, and we're very, 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 very lucky to be here.
Oh my heavens, that is just gorgeous. Well, I'm so glad that I've had a chance to catch up with you because I know you are a global trotter from Maine to Florida and everywhere in between, roasting, helping, doing great things. So what I want to talk to you about today, before we spill all your great beans, is you were a social worker. Is that right?
It is.
And how does the social worker become this so well-known comedian that's worked with, like, come on. We can say everybody from Tracy Moore. I mean, the plethora on your website, and we are going to share it, my friends, ChristineO'Leary.com, is like crazy. You've worked with everybody. How does the social worker from, like, wasn't it up north? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us.
So first of all, when I was starting my career, people would say, what's your name? And I'd say Christine O'Leary. And they'd say, what's your last name, smartass? And I'd say, .com. And my nickname when I was starting up here in Portland, Maine, I started stand up. my nickname up here was Dottie because I was the first person that anyone ever knew to buy their name domain. So I have to tell you that. But before, you don't know this probably, but before I became a social worker, I always was a people pleaser, which has been demonized. Codependent's been called a lot of things, but truly, I feel great when people feel happy. So here's the trajectory, right? I'm forfeiting recess as a little kid, and I'm going to work with the special ed kids, and I'm bringing our class pet so that they can, and I'm trying to negotiate time on the swing. And I was me when I was little.
I could see you doing that. My pet's coming along, everyone else.
No, because the special ed kids didn't get pets. So I'm like, that's not fair. They should have time with the guinea pig too. Not even, but And then when I was, the oldest in my family of 2, Irish, Boston Catholic, father, engineer, teacher, mom, teacher, and career counselor.
Well, that sounds like a page out of is that a golden book or what? Just a page right out of.
Yeah. And my parents would have social parties that were sort of like very professional development sort of. So marriage encounter. And I knew, Denise, when my mom would put out jumbo cashew nuts on the coffee table, I was like, I'm going to have an audience tonight. So I was me. And then it was August 1985. And my parents said it was time to go to college like everyone was doing. And I hadn't really made any of those moves. So my parents said, you have a few choices. You could go to hairdressing school. You could go to hairdressing school, or in 1 week you are starting hairdressing school.
Okay, so you have some choices: finger wave, finger wave, finger wave.
You got it, girl.
But not
you know
fingerine.
it's hair. Yeah, and what a decade to be trained in cosmetology.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Did you actually practice hair?
No, because it was an audience of one and a mirror, and I could look at people and I could make them happy and give them sort of counseling and maybe bangs. And then I loved that. And then I decided I wanted to do social work. I'd never even heard of the profession of social work. I didn't really like psychology. I didn't like diagnosing people. I was very strengths perspective even back then. And went to social work school, and then went right here actually in Wells, Maine, and did my internship at Wells Elementary School, and had a minute where I thought maybe speech pathology. And then I realized that, like, for instance, kids that stutter generally have sort of emotional stuff. And I was like, I don't want to make the parents proud. I want to help the kid.
Right.
And then I realized I didn't really enjoy parents.
Imagine that.
I love the kids, but the parents ruin everything.
And that was how many years ago? Now they really suck.
Yeah, well, I won't deal with them, so I don't know. I mean, I guess they do. But then I decided and applied for a job to be the first coordinator for Preble Street Resource Center, to be the director of their teen center that had never been open, 53 languages spoken at the local high school. And I became a social worker for homeless teens who had never had services and weren't trusted, didn't trust anyone. And I just sat and waited for that moment to get in there. And I used to say, this is a long answer, I still haven't learned how to economize my life, Denise. But I remember saying to people, they'd say, it must be so hard to be a social worker.
Yes.
To work with homeless kids.
That don't trust.
Yeah, and I thought, oh my God, people are going to have 800 numbers. Their children are lost. Everyone's going to be looking for their kids.
No.
I became a grant writer, and I abolished the word runaway, because I said my sad experience is that nobody's running.
Right.
Nobody's running. And people would say, it must break your heart. And I'd say, absolutely. To be surrounded by trauma and squalor, terrible. But when it's good, I got the best seat in the house.
Right.
And so people pleasing, hairdressing, social work.
What I like about your story is you keep moving, you keep finding you, and you keep moving, and you keep helping. Who else
can I make happy, Denise? Who else? Who else? Who's next?
So I met you at the Ridgefield Playhouse where you were the artistic director. And I remember squeamishly, even though people don't think.
I remember you too in that hallway.
People don't think of me as squeamish, do they? But I was squeamish. I was squeamish. And I said to Troy, my husband, we regulars there, I would really like to take her class, but I don't think I can. And he would be like, try it. And every time it would be freaking sold out. Sold out. And then one day, I'm stealing your thunder right here. One day,
do it.
I saw you in the hallway and you were so approachable. And I was like, this personality bigger than life is actually so approachable. And I said, I'd really like to be in your show one day. And you were like, awesome. And I was like, oh, she saw me. And then by hook or crook, or we'll call synchronistic chances, you had an opening. And I slid in. And I remember what you said. You know, we are here to be telling the truth about the problem with a feeling. And I was like, shit, if I do that, everybody will know who I am. But you made it very like, I don't even want to say approachable. You made it like comfortable. And I imagine that's what you did for the one-to-one hair and for all the kids you worked with. But how did you transition? Because a lot of people get stuck in the transition. Like, how do you keep moving? Before we get into your comedy extraordinaire coaching and all the A-listers, like, how do you help people keep moving?
Well, you just said something. If I do it, people will know who I am. I'm really glad you're recording this. That's really profound what you just said, because what I heard myself say when you said, if I do it, people will know who I am. And I thought, no, Denise, when you do it, you will tell people who you are. And so there's that. So that my kryptonite in life is being misunderstood. 100%. It's the way to hurt my feelings. If you think I'm doing something and you don't understand my intention, and I'm not saying my intention's pure all the time, but I try to live that way. That is my aspiration. So to be misunderstood just crushes me.
It aggravates me too.
Yeah. I mean, it really, really crushes me.
Yeah.
So to have the chance to unscramble that with people, not necessarily for people, but to give them a place to sort of do that, whether it's the homeless kid who is parents are also homeless, have never had the same telephone number, like real poverty, like never had any cash to buy laundry soap, let alone. So when people are misunderstood, I like to listen and then unscramble it and try it again. Is this what you mean? Is this what you mean? For instance, when food stamps, there is no money for laundry soap. So that's why no one has money for, like, I love to crack the code on. So for me, once I sort of understand and feel calibrated to what's going on, I'm ready for the next.
So
I don't need to say.
Do you think your empathy comes from just natural DNA, like when your mother put the cashews out? Or do you think that's a learned skill that can be trained?
So I think we're born as perfect beings, and understanding and capacity endless for love and to receive, and to, which is where green light, my expression in life, came from. But I think that as time goes, we get dimmed by experiences that hurt our feelings, and even trauma. I'm careful to use the word trauma because trauma sounds like it's never going to shift. It's never going to move. But basically, we're born 100 watt.
I love this. I love this.
And so our job is to own and understand and keep moving and transitioning what really hurt our feelings.
Right. And
for me, I have a practice myself, which I even hate that word practice because I don't know if I do it right or I'm low, but I have a practice of sort of like, if I'm not careful, I'm thinking a lot and I'm not feeling anymore. And it's easier to think than feel.
These are really good beans. If I'm thinking a lot, I'm not feeling anymore. And we all come in as 100 watt and things dim us.
Yes.
But it's our choice to get out of to re-watt.
Right. And things sort of lessons. I hate all the old words because I get thinking about them.
Right.
But things that hurt my feelings as a kid, as a teenager, as someone who's been heavy, as someone who's been made fun of being too sensitive, of someone who has been told, I care too much, it's none of your business, you don't have to, just mind your own, stay in your own, all that stuff.
All that crap.
So
crap.
Every time crap. But every time my feelings would get hurt, I would try to pretend my feelings weren't hurt so that they didn't hurt anymore. And next thing you know, Denise, my life, my wattage is getting organized around never having that happen again.
So it really is getting restricted.
And small. And small. If someone like that hurt my feelings, I am sliding the bolt on all the people like that so that they will never hurt my feelings again.
Oh my God, that's really important, right? Because we take one experience and we lock out the whole box of cereal.
And you know the thing about me, you would never believe this, but if you hurt my feelings, Denise, you will never know. Because I just slide the bolt on people. I just slide, you know how quiet it is in New York City apartment building? You just slide the bolt, click, and you don't know that you're. So I was like, Christine, your world is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I want a big life. So I had to sort of put myself on Front Street and kind of bully myself into, you got a lot of rules, oh Larry. You got a lot of
oh my God. I know so many people I'm sending this episode to.
Like and then texting, it just gets more controlled about how we're heard
and misunderstood. Oh,
yes. So that's what transitioned me to. I had lots of success as a stand-up all on my own.
Yes, you were hysterical. I remember. That's how we found you. You were running the whole thing at the Ridgefield Playhouse and infusing your comedy and radiating and exuding. It was like, who doesn't want to be around her?
Thank you. What my favorite was that I would have 500 people and 40 people in the crew and 15 people in staff. So it was like, how can we make this be great?
Right.
How can people feel great and alive and juiced up fire? Because that shift makes more. Right?
For
Joy,
sure.
If you say, I remember when I met you. I remember when I met you, right?
Yes.
Joy was to your left. Ave was to your right. Your back was right up against the sponsor board right before the first set of doors there. I feel like you just looked so little and afraid, literally with your back up against the wall. Like, I think you had these cute little overalls on and you were just like, and I just remember getting like 6 inches too close. And I was like, I see you. You want this. You can have it.
I am little. I'm 5 feet tall, but you're right. That day I was like, oh,
no,
shit.
No, but you seem so like scared. Not broken bird vibes.
No, well, I don't. Yeah, no. But I was scared. I mean, the truth was, I think after I turned 40, said no one since we're 29, I said, I have this bucket list. I'm going to learn how to ski because I was the chubby girl that was never athletic.
Nice. Yes.
I am going to do paddleboard yoga. I am going to do all this crazy shit. And they had stopped me from being in theater in high school because, artists didn't go anywhere.
Oh, right.
Artists don't talk about dimming your wattage. And why would you want to do that?
In the box.
And when I saw your class, I was like, this is a chance. I think everybody needs to go back to their childhood thoughts and where they felt flow and try it. So ever since I turned 40, said nobody at 29, I have broken my barriers and you were the bucket list. And from there, I mean, actually, if the truth be told, as I went on my comedic career, or just let my personality flag shine, that is the making of Mav's Coffee Clarity, where I bring my serious business side together with the humor that I was able to voice in your workshops and really find myself. And so I feel like what I want to do with this show, and thanking you for coming on, because you're the underpinning of much of my crazy work right now. Because I'm a very serious business coach outside of this, and fine art restoration company, and Uber mom, got to do the right things. But I also believe that laughing opens up the door. And you have a program with someone, I don't know her name, Win by Laughing. And when I teach in some of my corporate sales training, because I do a lot of negotiation and public speaking training, I say it's okay to have humor. People think humor is like this weird thing that they can't infuse unless they're a goofball. And I say, no. And what I love about you, and you can speak on this, please, is the panning for gold. I think we all need to do that more to radiate our life. You say pan for gold when we're writing comedy with you, but how has panning for gold changed your life? I mean, you must have come up with this word for a reason.
Yeah, well, I hear myself say things for the first time that I never heard before, which is, and the more I sort of tidy up my mind, which is starts with telling the truth. The more I tidy up my mind, the more I know how I feel. So to answer your question, what was it?
Well, I went over by win by laughing and panning gold. I think everybody should think, if I had one thing to say about you, I would say Christine taught me to look for the gold every day. Yeah,
exactly. So it truly does take an hour and a half of writing for every minute on stage. Feelings is the only way that people understand and believe what you feel. Feelings are not facts, but they are your truth. And you might decide they're your problem.
Right.
But you have them, right?
Right.
So good or bad. So then it gets up into the head. I mean, if you listen to people, which I do, and you must do in coaching too, but I'm so aware in the last 2 years, 4 years. How long has COVID been going on? 7 years, 8 years? I don't even remember.
Long.
But the point is that people, when that happened, right? So it's fear. The reason people are afraid, the reason that they don't like humor. So first of all, even the word funny has been morphed away to make it more acceptable. So people are like, I would really like humor. Like, to me, the word humor is like, it's like a wet sock. To me, it's like the grossest, limpest word. It's just fun. We don't want to have a good sense of humor. That means we don't think we really have it. It's all fear-based. Funny is funny. That's it. Needs no explanation, and it's just laughing.
Love that.
Doesn't need to be understood. It's just laughing. So what I think is that people are afraid to tell the truth, and they're afraid of being canceled, and they're afraid of being offensive. Anything that is offensive is generally not about how you see the world and the world sees you. So you're talking out of school. It's none of your business to talk about those people or them doing that, or I don't really understand this pronoun stuff. Well, you don't have any skin in the game, okay?
Right.
You don't have any skin in the game, okay? Like, you don't have any skin in the game. So it's fear. So then we're right into thinking. We know when things feel good. That's all we want. We know what we could say or do to feel good, to express ourselves. I have been paid in laughs for being rageful, jealous, lustful, feeling, what's the word? Excluded. I mean, I've made a lot of money on saying how I feel. And it's because everyone's just watching O'Leary like, she's not pissed. She's not pissed. I am. But also, if I handle myself, I get to be. The more we have feelings, the less we act them out. If we've stored them, let's have them on stage, because it is a gift to give people listening to you the experience of their fear of having that feeling, anger, jealousy. You do it. Let me watch you do it. It's the only reason people are laughing. It's not because jealousy is funny or feeling excluded or your feelings are hurt. It's not funny. It's that people get off watching. Oh my God. They're only laughing. There's not one word that I've ever said that made people laugh that was a funny word. Not one. Not one.
So in your career, and I know that you're doing a lot of celebrity influencing, roasting and hosting and galas, what is the most important, other than raising money for good charities, what is the most important part of that work for you, for the audience or whomever you're working with to understand? Because I know you're not all about just bellying up with the A-listers. There's some importance there in that work. So what are you trying to, with your life's culmination, I can't even speak, more coffee. What are you trying to do? What is the most important?
Okay, so raising the money is not the most important to me.
Right.
What is most important to me is the proof.
That's the happy accident. Yeah.
And it's the proof that I did what I wanted to do, which was I wanted to unscramble misunderstandings. People pay $250. They're sitting there. It's not to be there for the chicken. They're there because the president of the bank bought them and put them at a table.
Yeah, and the chicken might not be great anyways.
Yeah.
It's wedding food, maybe.
Yeah.
Said no one.
Wedding food. I mean, I love wedding coffee, though. I love wedding coffee, the big Farber, But,
I eat the frosting off the cake when no one's looking. And I say, Christine, can I have your piece? I need your frosting.
Frosting. Give me a flower.
Yeah. Give me a flower.
So I like to connect people who are pretending that they're there because they care. They do care. They totally care, but nobody told them anything. They don't really. So what I love is to interpret a mission.
Yes.
In a new way that hasn't been done before. I do a lot of research. I'm creeping around on websites. I'm calling numbers. I do a lot of research covert.
Undercover Roaster is one of the things on your website.
Yeah, to understand the agency.
Right.
Then I take mine. They give me a script. They want me to hit these bullet points. They want me to whatever. And I'll do that. But then
you're whatevering?
I like to interpret it. So for instance, they may have a level of whatever, and they'll say, this will help a family, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
No, I will, this will help a family with transportation. Well, $500 doesn't really help with transportation. It's $517. So I make it $517 so that people are like, yes, so that people can choose their currency that they love about the mission. Now, that's the greatest good. And when we raise, which I'm raising between 45 and almost 61% over people's goal, it's because I was a social worker, but really I'm interested in everyone understanding. I just want everyone to understand because something will speak to them.
Dare we say Christine O'Leary for the people?
That's it. 100%. For the people, please. I promise. Right? So that's what I love about that. And what I love about as you say, A-listers and also CEOs. So I'm doing a lot of work with CEOs. I don't Google who they are. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be intimidated by them.
Right. Because they're human.
That's right. And they haven't had a chance to be. People are mad at CEOs. I love CEOs. They are my people. They are smarter than anyone. They deserve to be CEOs. They haven't been handed. They speak 5 languages. They have 152,000 employees and 2 headquarters in Dubai. They're right. And they're like, oh, Christine, I'm petrified to do this. And I always say to them, don't ask your wife if you can do this. You can do this. Just text me. And I'll get you there on the other side.
Yes.
And, the brag is that for people who literally have more of everything.
Yes.
Responsibility, employees, power to make. I know that if that CEO who's running that company with 10,000 employees is now their superpower, which they tell me is their game changer. I know that she is going to be a better boss.
Have at it.
And that's my gift. That's my gift to me. That's
So
what I love the most.
it's like you figured out people between being the hairdresser and the cashew dispenser extraordinaire.
Put on a show.
And, you've been a people person for whatever the reason is. What's been the biggest fiasco that you've ever had that challenged your heart that you were like, oh, if I get out of this, I'll be lucky? And how'd you get out of it? Could be emotional, physical, could be, God forbid your house got flooded up there. I see a lot of water. It could be anything, but for this show,
this did get flooded. I've had 2 floods.
Oh, great. What I want people to know is like your life looks fabulous, and I know there was a lot of hard work, and I know there still is a lot of hard work, like all of us. But what I want people to know is there's fiascos all the time, every other day to different degrees, just like there's miracles. So what was your fiasco? What was your miracle? And how do you leave the people? What being can they use to move forward? What's the key word? Was it resiliency? Was it laughter? We know you're the joy junkie, but what was it? It doesn't have to be something bad.
So through COVID, I realized that I just did little hunches that I had about myself, right? So when COVID was happening or whatever, just strangely, I believe myself.
A key being when little hunches and believing yourself.
And believe myself. For instance, in that whole process, I was so angry. Like I was really rageful, angry, like scared myself, palpitation, angry all the time. And I woke up one day and I was so angry, I didn't really know I was angry. Right. I was just angry about the whole thing. Furious, angry about a million things.
Right.
About it. Information, misinformation, resistance, acceptance, like
washing your groceries.
Yeah, but also for instance, resistance, acceptance. 1, 5. I'm not talking anything about it. I'm just saying I was furious. And I woke up one day, Denise, and I just was like, I should probably stop eating meat because maybe if I had the diet of a Buddhist monk and I stopped eating blood, I would be less. It was the stupidest, craziest, nothing about animals, I just was like, I have to cool because I am going to take hostages. I'm going to hurt people. I was so just dukes up in the supermarket with them. I was insane. I was crazy. I really was not okay.
I never knew that during this time. No, I was working with you.
See, nobody knows.
Right. Okay.
So I just was like, I should have the diet of a Buddhist monk and maybe that will work. So I just was like, I might as well try it because otherwise I'm going to get arrested.
Right.
I'm definitely, and my spouse no longer works for the Department of Justice. So I got no ends. Orange is the new black. They're coming for me. And so I just did that. And it wasn't anything about anything. I didn't tell anyone. And somehow that kind of was like, believe yourself. Doesn't matter if I did it or if I, and then I was like vegan, but I didn't, nobody knew. Literally last night at a cookout, someone was like, do you want a hot dog? I was like, I'm set. Nobody knew. That was 3 or 4 years ago. I don't even know how long. I also, a while ago, and I never told anyone, I think 5 years ago or 6 years ago, I stopped drinking alcohol. I don't care if you do. I don't want to be the most annoying person. I just didn't. So I just was like, I don't think I should do that anymore. I don't think I should eat burgers anymore. And suddenly I was like, I don't even know if it's working, but because I believe myself, I feel less angry.
Just
did my weird little.
Just believe yourself and these little hunches and intuitions.
I don't know why I have to do it, but I do. I don't know. I'm going to tell you, there's this little road race thing that is happening in January.
Where?
And in Florida.
Oh.
And you can do a 2.5K, a 5K, a 10K, a half, or a marathon. It's like a running event. I think it's called Clearwater running event. It's associated with Jesse Eisler, who is Jesse Eisler is the wife of Sarah Blakely. No, the husband. Anyways, they're two power Spanx. Anyway,
Spank it.
The point is like in my mind. So I wrote, and I make fun of people who have short-term and long-term goals. I'm like, I literally like, I can't believe I'm going to tell you this on your, but I have this idea. So I rode my bike 165 miles from University of Miami to Key West.
You're kidding.
A few
When did
years
you do
ago.
this?
No. Yeah. And I had a tick on my back and I had Lyme's disease.
Ooh.
But I didn't know. But the point is, Denise, that I did that. And that was, I think, 5 years ago. And I have to stop talking about it. But it made me so happy that I completed it. I completed it in a 2.2 with a flat tire and Lyme's disease, literally. Didn't look pretty.
Yeah.
But I did finish it. And so now I sort of feel like I can tell I'm supposed to do that. And I mean, maybe it's cut oranges and hand it out on the side, but I feel like I'm supposed to do something. And I'm annoyed because now I've just told you.
Now we're online with it.
You know, I have to do that dumb stuff, or it's not dumb. But anyways, I believe myself. I'm believing myself, just like, I'm supposed to do that. Oh, God.
So it's
And
believe yourself and believe your hunches? Is that what it is? Is it like you're so tuned into yourself?
It's like a drive-by. It's like a drive-by, and I can't pretend I didn't see it.
Wow. Okay. So as we kind of wind down.
Yeah. Oh, are we? Because I could go on.
I know. But this is the reason why people have to come back, you see. We are in short form. We're at 36 right now, my friend.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
let me ask you this. We got a whole bunch of people. We have regulars. And they trust that we bring on.
For them.
They trust that we bring on good people that are going to tell them good stuff to kind of get them unstuck. So you've worked with a lot of people, all ages, multi-generational, successful, global woman. We've got a lot of people stuck. They don't want to say it like the rest of us when we're stuck. What can we do to let them know that it's okay to be stuck, and what can they do to get unstuck?
Well, here's the thing. First of all, not only believe yourself, but tell on yourself. Okay. So anything I would tell you right now, I just want you to know, I haven't done since June. I am living like a tinker right now. Like I'm in Maine. I'm like in the RV. I only get to be here now. I'm usually cleaning on Saturday. I mean, like this hair, like I don't know where my hairbrush is. I literally washed and conditioned my hair 2 days ago with my dog shampoo. I'm not lying.
Said no one. My dog shampoo.
And I just ate a fly. The point is that I've had a wild summer and I'm going back to the craziest. So I'm not the best person to give advice on like how to get motivated again, because I'm just like, I wash my hair with dog, but I think it's believe yourself. I think it's, sure, you should write them down. I mean, your beautiful drive journal. Like I can't tell you, I bring it everywhere I go, but I never write in it because I have no discipline right now. I'm like eating ice cream but I want to sort of get a little grounded and just believe myself. So I can't tell you beautiful things to do this second. Sure, you should journal. Sure, you should meditate. Sure, you should drink more water and eat more vegetables, and I should too, and less ice cream, Tillamook mint chip. But
Tillamook
the one thing I want to tell you is that I, for a very long time, have been obsessed with the now.
Eckhart Tolle, my friend. Eckhart Tolle.
About now. So I think if you can just join me, I invite you to consider that right now, that it was all for right now. What comes in for right now is the next right thing. That's it.
I love it. I love it because I never give myself permission. I have to really rancor myself into the now. And actually by doing, these podcasts and listening to people like you that are very inspirational with whatever it is they're sharing, because they've had levels of success and they've been okay not with levels of success because they know they're going to continue to be a success. My friend Christine O'Leary is one of the biggest successes I know, but she reminds me of something my grandmother would say. You cannot be a success, Denise, until you help someone else be a success. And my friends, I want you to go to ChristineO'Leary.com. I want you to work with her. I want you to take a workshop, because if you want to know how Mav has done it, my friends, this young lady is part of the principal foundation of Mav's Coffee Clarity. Thank you, my friends. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite pods, Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and go to ChristineO'Leary.com. Peace out. Mav has got to get back to work.
Closing with Zip and Zest. Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise is brought to you on partnership with Drive Media Consulting and their premier sponsors. Subscribe on your favorite streaming platforms and be sure to share.